How many X's will PulseChain core coins do? Richard Hart's coins, PulseChain, PulseX, EX, PHEX, and incentive token. Of course, baby dolls, everyone wants to know how many X's they will do, and you know what the answer is already going to be. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that we can look at how dominant Richard Hart was on actual real metrics back in 2021. Richard Hart had a dominance. I calculated. I can show it to you, and I can tell you where it is today. And I can tell you if it reached the same number of his main character status, which has basically never been done before. But if he's able to repeat it, the price is about a 72x from today. So these are all the coins from PulseChain. Of course, friends, if you want to look at the real numbers, you can look at different 30 days, all-time low. Doesn't matter what they are, okay? We're here for the ultimate cycle play. So why I'm going through this with you is if you go to this chart, right, gopulse.com, such a great clean website, by the way, friends. If you look at it on 90 days, you're like, oh my God, down 40%, down 40%. But everyone's just going to do this ATL, all-time low. So it's always going to look green. It does, but at the end of the day, you can't gaslight the people every single day. Guess what? Infinite return. I know, friends, it doesn't work. So we're actually going to go through some real numbers here. I calculated it here for you. So in summary, right, we went through this. I just told you, if Richard Hart returned to his peak main character status, it equates to about a 70x from today. So we're like, how did you even figure out that number? Now, by the way, I'm not telling you he will or he won't. I'm not telling you anything because I don't know. I'm just giving you a yardstick measurement. It goes, well, if he became main character status, that's it. And let me tell you something, friends. No one knows what the future holds, right? But I can tell you, based on odds and probability, you can kind of work out how you should be acting at certain numbers. And by the way, whether everybody knows this or not, it doesn't even really matter because as you move on through multiple cycles, people have memories of the past, they are resistance levels on the charts, and they do the talking, not me, okay? So what I'm going to do is go through it now. These numbers are derived by matching Richard Hart's market cap dominance to the total industry, all right? So this is Hex's chart, okay? This is total 3 chart. What I'm going to do is just zoom in for you. Okay, when Hex was in 2021 at the peak, right here, it was about 50 billion market cap. Now, there's a lot of question marks and tweaks with it because it goes, well, all right, Hex had roughly 100 billion coins out. It was less than that at the time. Okay, the real number was like, maybe like 85 billion Hex coins. Without the origin address, we removed the origin address. I know you got to make assumptions and all this. It is what it is, okay? You want to see the work? Listen, if you want to go argue, go make your own video, all right? So 85 billion coins, and then you can multiply that by the top price, which is about 55 cents. That would give us a 46 billion market cap, so just round it up to 50. So the real number is about 50 billion market cap of Hex's topping price valuation. The real number. That's why don't worry about the fake one and all these other metrics. Just screw all them. You got to actually think for yourself here and kind of like use these yourselves because trying to obfuscate and put mirrors and shadows and all these, you can't cheat the market. We're trying to look at the real number, okay? Now, looking at this, it's super important. Why? Because you have this yardstick measurement. You have this number out here and you go, okay, this has happened before in the past, all right? Now, what people will do is they'll say, wait a minute, if we were 5%, I think, we were 5% of total 3 back then. So what I've done here, friend, this is total 3. This is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I found, what is this? So it's Richard Hart. How much money did the market store in your coin, all coins, at that moment in time at the top? How much as a percentage of the entire industry? You were 5%. 5% is freaking enormous of the whole industry, by the way. And I'd like to name you a few quirks, okay, friends? Because you're looking at this, you're like, excuse me, something's wrong here because if Richard Hart was 5% up here, we are really close to that total industry returning back there. How come our prices are nowhere near? This is where it's tough and also hard to swallow truths, my friend, because here, friends, the coins that make up the index are different coins than what made up the index back here. For example, you don't have Luna anymore here. You did have Luna up here, okay? Also here, you have Casper. That is 3 billion. Back here, Casper didn't even exist. You see that? So that's showing you examples. You also have, friends, you also have AI industry. AI industry now exists, but back then you had no AI coins as a big subsector. So as you can see, the industry moves forward, you know, and by the way, this does include stable coins, but you can remove them. It's the same number. All right. So the industry moves forward, but what's actually being stored value or has higher market valuations is different with each cycle. You know, friends, you could even look through a relic of the past, Litecoin's dominance. And this is the chart right now here. You can type in Litecoin Dom and you'll be able to find the Litecoin dominance. Actually, friends, LTC dominance, right? LTC, there you go. So this is funny, isn't it? So Litecoin, friends, used to be 4% of the entire crypto industry. Now today, it is a mere 0.26%. Ouch. Isn't that a big ouch, okay? So Charlie Lee, right, he dumped the top up here and he basically quit. So I'll be honest though, if Richard Hart disappeared, he's like, hey, community, it's all up to you now. PulseChain, Hex, and everything will do this, pretty much. And that's just not me talking, that's you guys talking, because I completely underestimated how much everybody in the community relies on him. That's it. I mean, just like every coin, right? XRP, Ripple, Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, everyone has a founder and a leader, okay? That's what altcoins are. Centralized win, they're trying to win the game. Okay, that's pretty much what it comes down to. So you can see these dominances, friends, no one ever returns to former glory. And it's easy to be critical, but I'm not going to be critical. It's tough, man. It's because you're trying to make a coin for an industry that moves hyperbolic speed, super fast speed. It changes what it wants every freaking 6 months. Like meme coin sector appear, and then AI and restaking and all these, and they're inventing tech and they're replacing the old stuff like Litecoin and Stellar and XRP. Their dominance is getting pushed away, and then new stuff is coming in, right? And then you have stuff like Luna that thinks it's revolutionary, and then you just disintegrate into zero because you have a failed unbacked stablecoin, and something else new comes on, like Solana now tries meme coins, and then their valuation goes up. That's why this game is very, very risky, right? That's why you also got to sell into the euphoria, friends. So, however, you know this number, right? 71x. Let's continue. All right. So right now, today, Richard Hart's core coins sit at 2.8 billion market cap. So that counts Pulse, PulseX, EHEX, and PX. You can go through. You can just calculate all these if you want. Remember, you make sure you exclude the OA, remove the origin address. If you believe, though, you personally, if you believe Richard's going to dump all the coins from the origin address, then you would include them. All right. That's what you would include. I'm personally choosing to believe that he won't do that. I'm saying, friends, you can be right or wrong. I don't really care. This is speculation and a bet, right? So that's what it comes down to. Also, like you could think, okay, Satoshi's going to wake up tomorrow and dump all the coins. Have you put that into your calculation? You know, so it is what it is. You never get this true 100%, but you just got to make these assumptions. In 2021, Hex peaked at 5%, roughly, total 3 crypto dominance. It was 50 billion and total 3 was 1 trillion. Now, friends, when you see this, you're probably going to wonder, why hasn't anybody else done this? Why? And the answer, I'll tell you right now, friends. And I've got to play some gentle angel music for you because it might come across as harsh for like Temple Defender maxis, but that's okay, man. The reason why no one's done this is because they are still believing in Richard's old, dead talking points from the last cycle of market cap is a vanity metric. You can't trade off of it. Don't look at it. It's useless. Look, I can spoof it. I can spoof it. So these people, once you, well, see, friends, that's when you're part of a cult, the leader can like warp reality and make you suspend belief. Friends, every cult does this, by the way. See, remember Vitalik, he's doing it right now. Layer 2 is the future. Don't worry about sharding. Yeah, then Solana comes out, smashes out all the meme coins. They got 1 million daily users. You know what I mean? So trust me, I can poke at every single community, but you can't do everything. You can't do everything like perfect with rainbows and jelly beans. There's sacrifices you got to make, right, here and there. And these are captain's call decisions. That's why I don't go. I'm not that guy to go do that. I'm just telling you, it is what it is. You take a part of the package, okay? So yes, Richard Hart's talking point of let's market cap, yay, let's throw it out. Well, just got to remind you, friends, just to tell you, this is not new. Okay, it's funny. People think, oh, Richard Hart's a genius. He's telling us to ignore market cap. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Habibi Albi, please. Let's play some Habibi Albi for these people out there as well. What year is it? Have you seen that Jumanji meme? What year is it, friends? It's 2024. Okay. The market cap doesn't matter came from the old Wall Street scammers. Okay. People used to do these calculations back before the computer and the internet, back when people were driving wooden cars in like 1999. And a lot of people bought tech stocks. Now, market cap, they use different terms, right? They had balance sheets and cash flows and how are you going to make up for the growth and earnings per share? Anyway, they were trading like 200 PEs to 1. They're like, wait a minute, you're going to make back your money at 200 years worth of profit. I'm not going to be around in 200 years. They're like, don't worry, we're going to grow it. We're going to grow it. So Wall Street will tell mums and dads, innocent people, market cap doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're going to grow it. You're going to grow into it. It doesn't matter. We can fake it. These numbers here and there, don't worry about it. Anyway, people end up buying the top of a 30-year bubble for NASDAQ and they never recover. Okay, this is like, Microsoft, 17 years sideways. Cisco still hasn't recovered. So I can actually show you the charts right now, friends. I mean, you can put it on a 3-month chart just so you can see. Look at this, man. Cisco in January 2013. I mean, look at this. Can you believe how much Cisco was? $80. It has been, oh my gosh, 25 years, friends. 25 years still hasn't come back. So just showing you, yes, the whole market cap doesn't matter type of talk because we can fake it and companies can spoof it. It's a talking point for a bull market to enhance the greed frenzy of people. Now, whether it's intentional, unintentional, I don't give a shit. That's why you're listening to me. Go listen to someone else who's going to tell you it doesn't matter. Okay, friends, let me tell you this, okay? If I have a group of people to pick from and I've got to make the best investing rewards firm and I want to pick the most elite people, and there's 2 kids, right? They're both equal in intelligence and like maybe they both got peanut brains, maybe they both have squeaky chairs. One of them says to me, market cap doesn't matter. It's all in your head. If he says that to me and then the other guy says, you know what, market cap can be faked, but I check it anyway just to try figure out where I think it should really be. Who are you going to hire, friend? Are you going to hire the guy that goes, market cap doesn't matter. It's all in your head. You're really going to look at that guy and be like, you know what? You're telling me you're just not going to look at the info? You're going to throw that out? So just think about that logically for yourself. It's kind of funny, also sad. The entire crypto industry was looking at Hex from the outside in saying like, oh my gosh, how do these people with the Stockholm syndrome, how can they just not see that? Like it's so obvious, right? That's why everybody looked at this just hyperinflating on the way down and not being able to come back with all these other things going on. So today, right, Richard Hart core coins sit at a tiny 0.4% of the total industry. After seeing all that, now remember, he peaked at 5%. Now, remember, friends, I added up Pulse plus PulseX plus EHEX plus PHEX plus Inc. Okay, you don't even need to remove Inc. Remove Inc. I added up his core coins. You were 5% at the peak. Now you're down to 0.4. So what happened to the other percentages here and there? Okay, it's not corrupt SEC. What happened is obviously AI comes in. New meme coins come in. Pepe comes in. Dog with a hat comes in. Casper comes in. Unicorn winners come in. Injective rallies. Solana rallies back. All right? And then other stuff, irrelevant, goes away. You get to see it, right? So Hex combined, though, is only, this is EHEX and PHEX. So by the way, if you're a PHEX maxi, which a lot of people are, got bad news for you. This number, it was so low, I don't even want to calculate it because you'll basically neck yourself, right? So to say, you'll neck yourself. If I tell you the real dominance number, if you remove EHEX, because what PHEX maxis want to do is say, EHEX, you no longer exist, right? If they want to play that world, you make EHEX 0, and then you start with the forked copy of PHEX. Even though Richard's going to technically say, we're at a new all-time high. Yeah. Move that stuff. That's bull market talking points, okay? But for everybody else here who's been holding for 3 years, which is everybody who believes in the project, the real dominance is actually like way worse. But think about this, friends. So that's how bad the dilution was. Hex was 5%. Now, Hex combined is 0.15 from the top. So if you do 5 divided by 0.15, friends, it's 33x to get back to the all-time high combined, right? To get back to that dominance. Now you're probably thinking about, wait a minute, that's the dominance of the industry. It's not even the all-time high prices. That's right. So these numbers, huge when you think about them. That's why, we're going to go through these just to show you where we are. Remember, I don't know what's going to happen. Just present this information here for you. So this is a huge 97% drop in the dominance collapse for Hex. This represents the enormous damage done to Hex and shows how it is no longer relevant in the eyes of the crypto industry. Now, if you interpret that as FUD, okay, keep drinking your soy milk, move out, okay? Because what does dominance going down mean? It means you're not relevant anymore, friends. Compared to the size of the whole industry, you're not as big of a part as you were. Like if you were a city, friends, and there's literally 4 businesses in the city, and one of them was your pizza shop, you are literally, you're 25% of the city, okay? Now, 10 years later, there are 48,000 shops and there's 2,600 pizza shops. You're not 25% anymore. You are less relevant than you were before. That's it. Okay, it's up to you to stay relevant. So this is the Hex BTC chart. This is the real ratio. And what I've done is now, friends, removing the obfuscation part. I've like shown you combined EHEX and PHEX is down 97.25%. So that's, and this is the truth. Actually, it's actually lower. Read this part. Hex was already minus 97.25% down before the corrupt SEC attack against Bitcoin. So remember, no SEC, no Gary Gensler. I know he charges a lot of SEMA, but before any of that, the market was already saying, oh, where's Richard streaming? So I was wondering, how does the market know? How does it know to sell off? Well, now we figured it out why. It's because everybody out in the community, Richard's talking points were going like this. Unfortunately, 2% of us were listening. The other 98% are literally just a bunch of dick riders. And they're just watching a guy like, he's so magical. He's so magical. I'm infatuated. It's a cult, friends. Pretty much a cult. That, by the way, it's with every single crypto community out there, okay? The only coin that runs itself without a leader is Bitcoin, just to let you know. But Bitcoin has many leaders. That's what makes Bitcoin unique, right? Just like, does gold have a leader? No, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't have anybody go. So Bitcoin is like that. Every other coin in crypto, right, has centralized, pivotal people. Now, by the way, Michael Saylor is the new archangel, but Michael Saylor could be destroyed and it will probably be replaced later on if that ends up happening in our story arc. Who knows? Our timeline, right? But with Richard Hart, you know, his pivotal, you know, you don't have to tell you. You already saw, friends, the damage done to the prices when Richard launched, but he wasn't streaming. Isn't it interesting? The market could see, oh, we've launched a chain, and probably even thought, oh, good, I've finally done this chain launching. But the market's like, well, hey, where's your streaming? Where's all the participation? This is the whole move, friends. Bang, 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 down, 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 all the way. This is just Pulse itself, right? And then PulseX was getting, this little zip is the corrupt SEC. Like you're down, where were you? Like bang, 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 bang. See, everything's getting crushed. This is even the full Hex price. But if we go from memory, it was like, you know, 24, it was like 5 cents ish. Think about that, right? He launches the chain, Hex is about 5 cents. So even with the chain launched, the market said, you're still 90% down from the top. And then, remember friends, the market's smart. As every week passes and Richard isn't streaming, people sell off. So you realize everything's about network effects. So the market's smart, man. That's why everybody figured out. Oh, that's why me and you, I'm like, why is everyone leaving? What everyone's saying? Okay, the chain is trash and all these happen. I go, yeah, but there's many other things like that out too. And then you realize, oh, okay, it's pricing out Richard's streaming, Richard's videos. You actually know, right? If you go listen to a couple of people on Twitter, you know, Trent and stuff here and there, usually when the prices go down, shout out to everybody out there, all the baby dolls out there, they'll, in their moment of despair, they'll tag Richard and they go, hey, big fella, can we just do one stream, please? Can you please come back? They say that. Listen out on Twitter, friends. Sometimes if you listen very closely, which is what I do, right? Confirming friendship with everybody, you can hear the crowd's cries deep down the chasm. They're like, please, Richard, please stream again. Please stream again. It's not meant to, I'm not poking fun, but that's just showing you that's the heartbeat of the community. Now, I've just mentioned here some points, right? Many people will blame it on the SEC. The truth is that it was already down 97.25% against Bitcoin before the corrupt SEC announcement. He's lost enormous dominance since then for obvious reasons, because none of the coins are cycle 1 narratives and they are all older stories. So this is like true. It's obvious to us, but for people who like want to go back to glory, I know, friends, everyone wants to get back to glory. Everyone wants Litecoin to go back to $2,000, etc. Okay, so everyone wants that ratio to be revisited. People in Ethereum want to go back to ETH BTC flippening time. They want to go back to 2017 glory too. Everyone wants to return back to glory, okay? These are the numbers if, once again, I'll repeat this again. Okay, if we get back to the dominance, we'll go through that a bit later, but the story about everything, remember, everything goes off narratives. Who made the book, friends? I made the book. No one else teaches us this. That's why highest value content in crypto, like, subscribe. We organize coins by age and narratives by age, okay? So PulseChain, PulseX, both the hexes and the incentive tokens are old stuff. Now, I shouldn't say old, it's a pretty crude word. They're cycle 2 narratives. Now, you want to be cycle 1, but you have to be ahead of the curve. You got to be like a Casper, an AI, those types of people, but it's so hard to hit, right? And you got to be a Peppy. See how hard it is to hit? Everyone else is living off the past. Now, the good thing is for you, me and you, is cycle 2 narratives, cycle 2 coins, they have one last oomph in them. It's Warren Buffett cigar butt investing. What happens in cycle 3? No, God knows. Okay, XRP, Litecoin. Look, we've never seen someone take over an industry or community except Doge. Elon Musk inserts Doge, but Doge had a meme coin narrative. Meme coins was cycle 1 narrative. It reignited Doge again. So think about that. You have one coin, and then everything else you don't. Nothing. You have one coin out of like 300 or 400 that was given the blessing of the unicorn reignition. Okay. So here they are listed again. PulseChain is an alternative layer 1. What is PulseChain, fans? You're a cheaper Ethereum. Okay, sweet. That was a new cycle narrative back in 2021. You had BNB and Binance and BNB Binance. You had Phantom, Cardano, Solana. Everything that's a competitor to Ethereum bursted up because Ethereum was so expensive. Okay, now we're in cycle 2 of that. So the amount of people out there in the world who were going to onboard, there's now less of them. Now there's less. There's still people out there. Okay, we unlock them when people hopefully when Bitcoin breaks 100K and we have the next cycle there, we do unlock more of them. However, the bigger growth of them, they already came in that first time. That's why it was so lucrative to be in early cycle 1 stuff. That's why, friends, actually most people who are in this, they're actually lottery ticket winners. They have no idea how lucky they were. They think, oh, well, I could see it and it's all mine and it was the right place, right time. Yeah. So I'm just telling you, just with you, there are, 150 million people in crypto. You were part of the early 5,000 that got a cycle 1 coin, cycle 1 narrative like that. But then you get to see, right, they end up bag holding too long. Many coins. They end up going like, no, but I really believe that it's very hard for them to see, oh my gosh, there's a lottery ticket, but I held it the whole way. It's very, very tough, friends, to be a believer enough that you hold through all the swings. It gets very, very hard because people who don't believe, they just sell too early. You see? PulseX is a DEX, friends, we all know. Now, DEXs were birthed, Uniswap, the real tech convention. It is a DEX. Yeah, it's got some tweaks and stuff. It's a cycle 2 narrative as well. Yeah, we have the buy and burn, which is beautiful. Hex is a DeFi coin. So, friends, the term used by crypto industry is Ponzi DeFi. So it's DeFi 2.0. DeFi 1.0 was real tech, they say, Aave money markets. You have Uniswap as a DEX. You have perpetual swaps, like, this type of DeFi 1.0, the building Lego blocks, okay, synthetics and all these, Chainlink, part of the oracles, part of that. But DeFi 2.0 was everybody missed out on DeFi 1.0, and now 2021 appears. And what shocked me and everyone else, instead of people buying Aave and synthetics and Uniswap, what they did was they just bought new DeFi Ponzi stuff. Olympus DAO, Time Wonderland. Hex is in this category. So what is this DeFi Ponzi stuff? But I know the word Ponzi might be like inflammatory for some people, but it just encompasses yield handout. It's like, here's a coin with some unique mechanics that we think has changed the game forever, but we're just handing out inflation, but you don't know that. And this is changing the game forever. And it pretty much everybody's here to hand out the yield. And like Olympus DAO had 16,000% APY. Okay, wonder how that ends up. By the way, Olympus DAO has a smaller crash than Hex. Kind of just crazy just how much Hex has been oversold, right? Time Wonderland, same thing, okay? Luna was part of the same category, friends. It was like Ponzi DeFi, unbacked stable stablecoin, giving itself a yield, but it's detached with the stablecoin. And Hex was part of that too. It's like, hey, here's a game, we can stake it up, you get the inflation here and there. And trust me, every single one of them claimed to be a better store of value, a better US dollar. They all claimed it. Duquan went on stage saying we're a better store of value. UST is the new dollar. All of them did. Okay, look at all end up. So it's Ponzi DeFi. Now, ultimately, what ends up happening is you end up realizing, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's the only thing that runs itself. All these others were just really carefully crafted unicorn winners of that DeFi season, okay? So also you have Ink. Ink is a food token, Pancake, did very, very well. It is an inflation handout and people need it for more yield. And it is obviously, literally, it is a bloodbath in a bear market. Luckily for us, we're now in a bull market. Isn't that beautiful to see? And of course, you want to see what Ink does in the bear market part. I mean, you have the hyperinflationary part. Look at this. Look, here you go. You are dropping minus 99%. So look, it's up off the low. That's what happens to these. But that's what you want, man. You want leverage on the upside in the bull market. But not everyone's figured it out yet, right? So what we've got to repeat to you again, right? I mean, we're going through how high can it go? How do we get to that 71x number? Well, you know, cycle 2 narratives, friends, are still good enough to retire if you DCA buy the lows in a bear market. You got to be very aggressive, but you got to keep your expectations on the conservative side because you aren't cycle 1 narrative anymore. You're not a cycle 1 coin anymore, even though you could tell everyone it is, just the odds are against you. Okay, friends, it could be that Richard Hart forces a narrative and he gets the cycle 1 advantage out. It could be that, but it depends how much you want to take that risk. So what about these upside targets? Well, in the bullish case, if the crypto industry hits 10 trillion in size, then the total 3 index would be 4 trillion. So what does this 10 trillion mean? I've already explained in many videos for you. 10 trillion means Bitcoin, $200,000. Ethereum, $10,000 to $20,000. Total altcoins after that is around 4 trillion, 3 to 4 trillion. You add up all of them, it's a market cap of about 10 trillion, okay? And what you can do is, right, look at this. Since Richard Hart can become 5% dominant size again, that means 200 billion market cap if he achieved that. So what you do is you go, oh, if the total industry is going to be 10 trillion, he was 5% of that last time. If he returned to 5% of that new number, it's a 200 billion size. Now that number is around 72x from today. So that would be, you can see the prices here, friends. PulseChain hits 44x above day 1 sack. Okay. PulseX hits 19x above day 1 sack. Total Hex is 78 cents. So that's like keeping the ratios today the same. eHex 13 cents, pHex 65 cents. So these are not price predictions whatsoever. I'm just telling you, if you believe Richard Hart can be the 1 out of 300 cases, right? That's literally the odds. 1 out of 300 cases where you can become main character again. All right. So there's 299 cases, didn't happen. 1 case it did. If you believe he can do that again, he gets back to that same dominance. It's 71x from today. Those are the prices today. All right. So by the way, the ratios assume the same. So there's going to be deviations. I'm just throwing it. I'm just showing you what you're betting on. Now, I must also mention, right? It is extremely rare for any crypto to ever return back to its dominance peak. Only 1 coin has done it, called Doge. Cardano got close in the last cycle, but it did a double top and came back. This is Cardano. Look at this, friends. This is 2017. This is 2021. You see that? And now what is down here? This is Doge. Doge's old one came up here, but we already spoke to Doge. Doge is the 1 unicorn winner of crypto, of all the 300 coins that were like from the old coins. Isn't it funny? Doge was the only one that could do it. XRP, famous case, used to be 30% dominance. Now it's 1.2%. You can see over time, gone. All right, even though Ripple's still there, you know. So there you go. It's because they have a payments narrative about them, and the market moved on. Payments narrative became old. We moved on to new stuff like Ethereum and DeFi and everything else we see today. So basically, friends, okay, basically all I did was show you Richard Hart returning back to main character status in 2021. And I've got to remind you, you know that 71x, friends, that adds up Pulse, PulseX, eHex, and pHex. Okay, so you're looking at it, you're like, okay, well, is that reasonable? Well, look, we know you can't fool the market. You can try to. It knows. It knows, oh, we're all the same amount of people. Like, for example, I know you can try. It's just crazy. You can't fight it. I mean, you can try to, but you're ultimately, fighting against a brick wall. So remember, we assumed Richard Hart goes back to main character status in 2021. This is just if you want that 71x, right? However, if he can't get there, you got to think, okay, how much less is it? And that means, okay, you're getting less than a 70x from today. But if you think he can get there, well, that's where you get, it could be 70, whatever breaks at 100, 250. That's what it is, friends. Obviously, the whole community is going to be split. There's going to be people saying, yes, he will get there. Other people will be like, okay, well, these odds suck. And other people are like, you know what, I'm just happy for a 5x to get out. So you're going to have every part of the spectrum. And I just explained to you, right, friends, with crypto returns, it has nothing to do with the founder of a coin or game theory or any mechanics you put in. It's always focusing on the narrative behind the coin, which matters the most. That's right, the narrative, which is the product market fit going on at the time. That's pretty much it. Real DeFi and all this other stuff, they're great principles. However, you can see right now, Solana, is it decentralized? No one cares. No one cares. It's just fast and there's meme coins. Sweet. 1 million daily users. 1 million. Richard Hart has cranked up the yield on incentive token. Did we have a net value out of the price? No, we didn't. It's not even me talking, friends. You just got to see it firsthand, okay? Even with an addition of the yield and incentive token coming out, look at this. We have retraced most of his money insertion. See, friend, I know. I'm just telling you, this is the market it's showing us, hey, your market cap's too big, man. You ain't that cheap. Now, in my posts here, I just explained why Doge was special. And it was because meme coins were a cycle 1 narrative in 2021. So even though Doge was old and dying and going to do that, a new birth, the phoenix rose again. It's like, you're a cycle 1 narrative. Here you go. Okay, so that was the one last gasp. That's just Doge. Also, people asked me, why did Cardano get back to its altcoin dominance return again? Nowhere near that. Why did it get big? Didn't break it, but why did it get near it? And it's because Ethereum was expensive. So the alternative layer 1 chain scenario narrative appeared. That was cycle 1 narrative. And so Cardano was right next to it. Hey, we're cheaper Ethereum, pretty much. There you go. And that's why I was able to basically sell the dream to everybody else and do that. Okay, so there you go. But remember, there were other coins out there that they weren't alternative chain coins, and they did not, and so they didn't benefit from that. There are coins like Walton Chain, all these other poopy coins that weren't EVM competitors, pretty much abandoned. All right, so it's not a guarantee, but it just shows you what's possible. So then you just got to think, right now, could Richard Hart receive a unique narrative? I open the books up for this. Yes, it's possible, right? He's got 170,000 Ethereum. He could force a narrative at the end of the crypto season cycle. So if Ethereum is 10K and he rotates 1.7 billion in, he could force a narrative, just like Avalanche did. Avalanche forced the narrative back in 2021, and basically everyone had the snow season. But it's important to know that crypto narratives are very unpredictable, and you'll see me make posts in like 6 months from now showing you how wrecked everyone is from chasing the new narratives in the past few months. Have a look at this cute peppy picture to break things up, friends. Now, to continue, right? As you can see, right, PulseChain just being a cheaper Ethereum, not enough. There's 50 copycats. Cycle 1 narratives, what are they? AI, DePIN, DESI, restaking. You have unicorns like Doge and Peppy, right? They're new stuff, friends. They're new stuff. So Coinbase has a unique edge as well. 100 million Coinbase customers. Maybe that could be a narrative that pops up again later on. Solana was the winner, but there's no guarantee it lasts forever. So now I'll leave this with you, right? I have no idea where these things go. I have no idea. But on a chart, this is where a 70x would bring it all the way back up to here. There you go. 70x would be funny. 40x above day 1 sack. That's where it would eventually be. If you got up there, I would consider that obviously an enormous win. 70x is huge. Okay. So knowing all this, friends, you've gone through all of this, you see the numbers, and it's not meant to invoke any emotion at all. I'm just giving you facts. You're like, hey, this is main character status. These are the odds. See, a lot of people get upset with the odds, friends. It's kind of like if there's a dice, okay, you roll the 6. All right, and you need a 6 to win. Otherwise, I shoot you in the head. All right, well, just telling you, okay, only one of the numbers is a 6. The others are 1 to 5. You know what I mean? You can't say, it's FUD. Like, no, Habib, one of the numbers is a 6. Only just one. And that's the one you need to survive. So I'm just showing you what's happened in the past. But let's just reflect, right? For free, friends, I've already prepared you for all these scenarios. We've already been looking forward to this for a long time, okay? I taught you for free ratios, enhancing your edge. I taught you about ratios, right? So you can bunny hop to higher wins. I taught you about buying in the depression, ignoring the narrative, finding low cap coins and memes. We continue to DCA. We ignore the crypto, Twitter, narratives, and YouTube in terms of following them. We know to fade them most of the time. We invest aggressively, so we know you're not going to retire off just 1 week living expenses put in. We know that. We know to avoid mainstream YouTubers and Twitter people who just tell you to buy the tops, which I have been every single time. All right. And we know participate in things like maybe launch pads. Try to do airdrops if you can. Just throw yourself out there and good things will come. That's pretty much what we're trying to do, friends. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to figure out, okay, is this thing cheap or not? That's what it comes down to. Not how amazing is the founder, market cap is fake, or we did 1,000x last time, we can do it again. Doesn't cut it, man. Buying the depression, selling the euphoria. But also, we got to understand, okay, why your friend Sommi here, I don't have any price targets. I have no price target. I'm just telling you, I'm ready for anything that happens. So if PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex are doing, let's say they're 25x from today, 25x, and Coinbase App Store ranking is number 1, and he's deployed 3/4 of the Ethereum, and all of these have happened, okay, I'm not going to be sitting there going, well, we're only up 25x. We still got 50x to go from here to make it 1,000x. I'm not going to be saying that. I'm going to be saying, well, I guess that's the market telling us we've onboarded most of the people in the crypto industry that we can. Okay, so you got to prepare for every scenario. I'm hoping for the upside, and people are going to pretend to feed you dopamine, acting like they know, oh, we can't fail, this or that. Just look at the charts, man. Look at the charts, all the information I've shown you. I've painted for you the perfect picture. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the market's going to decide. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.